Being a hairstylist as well as a trichologist is like the best of both worlds. It's kind of in a sense like the doctor and nurse relationship. You have the nurse at the bedside getting a first-hand report on what's going on with that patient. As a hairstylist standing behind the chair, I get a first-hand report on what's going on with the hair and scalp. With trichology, it's like the doctor in a sense. We have to assess what the root cause of that issue may be and come up with a treatment plan to help you manage and treat that issue. So for me, being a hairstylist as well as a trichologist, it's the best of both worlds. Yes. 16. Now, question 16.
Timing, but
So, we've been keeping a little timer here, right?
keep us
on track, but we've been doing pretty good. I think so. Good job, girl. Good job.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. So, question 16. What is the way to care for my hair and scalp to promote growth? What is the best way to care for my hair and scalp to promote growth?
Mm-hmm.
So, my first point on here is saying, what is your cleansing regimen and its frequency? Because that's going to speak to scalp health, right?
Mm-hmm.
And inflamed, infected scalp definitely is going to lend itself to hair loss, which is a condition called seborrheic dermatitis.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're not frequently cleansing, and if you're not properly cleansing, which I think is key,
yes,
you can definitely be not really achieving the goals that you think you are, right? What is your hair type, right? Because certain hair types require certain regimens that foster good, healthy growth, right? What are your style choices and practices, right? Because like we talked about with traction alopecia, if you're practicing certain style choices that are not conducive to healthy growth or a healthy environment, and they're really lending themselves to damage and destruction, you're not going to get that growth that you expect in your goals, right?
Absolutely.
How do you moisturize your hair, right? Again, like hair types like 4C require moisture on a regular basis. And if you're not giving it the moisture that it needs, you're going to go through a repetitive breakage cycle because the hair is going to actually be dry. And I want to touch upon this point too with 4C hair. A lot of people with 4C hair has been trained and conditioned to believe oil is moisture. Oil is not moisture. Oil can lock in moisture. It can also block out moisture. So if you're using heavily oil inspired products, that's the wrong thing for you to do, especially with that hair type. It tends to be breakage prone and dry prone. Right. Do you have a healthy hair and scalp to begin with? Right. So I think everything mentioned already will lend itself to that question in terms of an understanding like, hey, is your hair and scalp already healthy?
Exactly.
If it's not, then we might need to go through a checklist to see how can we get it there, and then getting it there is like now moving forward we can see how we can promote healthy growing hair. And I just have, the breakdown is definitely dependent on the hair type and lifestyle will determine your selected routine. Type 4C, definitely touched upon that, moisture. It helps counteract dehydration, brittleness and breakage, and it helps promote elasticity to where your hair has that stretch and give, right?
Right.
That's healthy hair. It has elasticity. Type 1 hair is usually very strong and requires basic hair needs unless color treated or chemically treated in some form or fashion. And it's necessary to keep a good routine, just to address this concern. What is your routine currently and where are you starting at?
Yeah. So, and then just to add, knowing, your scalp type so that you can understand what is best for your scalp. Because there is such thing as, scalp type. Whether you always have a dry scalp, a oily scalp, what's known as a normal scalp, then there's a combination, that retains moisture, but, it might be oily at the root, but then dry at the ends. And so it's just knowing, and again, that's why I stress it is very important to have a, professional stylist where you don't have to see us every week. You don't have to see us bi-weekly, because once you get your hair to that healthy point, we may see you once a month. But having that person to help you figure out what type of, whatever we're talking about, hair, scalp, whatever, knowing what type you have can really cut things down for you and really prevent a lot of things for you as well. So it goes back again to just knowledge. Knowledge is key.
You took the words right out my mouth. The more you know, the further you go.
Yes.
Right out my mouth.
Yes.